does music build our courage and resilience? I have a lot of experience with that. Just in case some of you don't know, I was in a band for a really long time called Forlorn Strangers. We were a bluegrass band out of Nashville, Tennessee. Toured around a lot, played a lot of shows, did a lot of music. And one of the biggest kicks that we got was bringing people together through old folk songs. We would sing like songs like If I Had a Hammer or This Land Is Your Land, kind of around the country. And I'm talking like bringing anarchist punks together with like us rinky-dink Christian Nashville kids. Anarchist bikers, a lot of anarchists. We loved our anarchists. But to these environments where I feel like it's going to be a very hostile, how are we going to find each other? How are we going to fit in with each other? Where is our common ground? And it's in songs like these that we've learned growing up, or songs that we don't know yet that we're about to start singing for the rest of our lives. And so there's really big, that was kind of during a really pivotal season. That was from about 2011 to 2018. So a very pivotal time in our country's history where it was really easy to feel hopeless. It was really easy to feel that dread and despair of kind of becoming more separate from each other. This is pre-pandemic. So I feel like since the pandemic too, how do we find our way back to each other? It's very easy to kind of stay isolated in ourselves. But in that, we can't really share each other's burdens in the same way. So building that kind of courage to make it through becomes really hard when for me, it feels really hard when I feel like it's all on my shoulders to get through. Yeah, exactly. It's not, and I gotta remember that too. But then also too, how do I bounce back from those moments? How do I have that resilience? And for me, the way I've accessed that kind of throughout my life has been with music. Whether it is in gathering groups like this together just to sing some songs, I think that's a really cool way to do that. I really enjoy playing along with old records, which is a really fun way to do things. Or I'm learning songs with, a contemporary band or whatever. But whenever I do that, I'm doing that in a community. It's never just me by myself. Even if I'm reading a piece of sheet music, I'm playing along with the notes that someone wrote at some time. So I'm having sort of like a community dialogue going on. And that really helps to make me feel like I'm truly never alone in that. And for me, that gives me a lot of courage to kind of press forward. And that makes me resilient and strong to kind of keep walking down that path. And so before we kind of like jump more in, I thought it'd be really fun if we sang a song together. We have two choices for this one. Does anyone know the song If I Had a Hammer? Yeah? And if we don't know it, is it easy to learn? Do we know that? Let's do that. Let's do If I Had a Hammer. So I encourage you to sing along. If I had a hammer, oh, if I had a hammer, I'd hit 'em all.
Just go around. He's trying to get us all.
Thank you. Sail of freedom, it's a song about love between brothers and sisters all over this land.
There we go.
We found it. We found each other. Yeah, we've done songs like that. Pete Seeger is a big hero of mine. If anyone knows who Pete Seeger is, kind of in that, the Weavers, Peter, Paul, and Mary are kind of big ones like that. Songs that people used to come together. During the civil rights era, in the 50s and the 60s, those were the same kind of songs that people sang to stand up for each other, to build up community together, to fight for their rights. And that's kind of what we're doing now. We're still having to find a way to stick up for each other and for ourselves. And so if anyone's been to any protests recently, I remember going to the Women's Day, the day that the president took office in 2017. We were in Charlotte, and we went and marched there. And we were singing the exact same songs that we'd been singing for 50 years at that point, which is a good reminder that we've still got a long way to go. However, we have a really good well that we can draw from. There's a really good line of songs there to sing. In New York, there's this group right now called the Resistance Revival Chorus. They're a really great group of women who kind of, at all these gatherings, these protests, these events, they come together and sing kind of new songs or old songs, but a lot of really good songs that bring us together, that also fill us with the good things. It's not just like, let's come together and sing Row, Row Your Boat, because we all know the song Row, Row Your Boat. It's the same kind of reason we sing hymns. We put this kind of stuff in our bodies. It's like medicine we inject. And we need to keep injecting that medicine to kind of build up our own courage, our resilience, our strength. And so the Resistance Revival Chorus, they have a really great album called, I think it's called This Joy. And that's a song by Shirley Caesar. She is in, I think she was a pastor in Durham.
Grew up in Durham.
Yeah, she's definitely in the Triangle. And so she wrote a version of this song called, it's to the tune of This Little Light of Mine, called This Joy. And so we're going to sing that one together. It's very simple. I'll teach you how to do it. And I have the right key right now, so we're good to go. Just going to tune up. So to get ourselves kind of in that vibe, we're going to sing the first little bit of This Little Light of Mine together. We're going to get that melody right under our fingers, and then we're going to jump into This Joy. So let's do that. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. And it goes like this. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have,
What's the name of the chorus again in New York?
Resistance Revival
Okay,
Chorus.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, they're really, really cool and special. Yeah. Are there any kind of songs, like when you think, these are the songs that get me going? They remind me of who I am. They remind me of who I can be, who I might end up being one day. Are there any kind of songs like that, or artists, or bands, or writers? Yeah, what comes to mind for y'all?
There's an old Bob Dylan song called The Times They Are Changing.
Yeah.
And honestly, I probably know the chords better than I know the words. I don't know the words, but yeah, I don't know. That's just one.
Yeah, Dylan's great for that.
It's appropriate for this time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But I can't offer any more than that.
Anybody else?
I have a list of songs that I shared with Susan, and I started collecting them, and I have a playlist called Faith One.
Yeah.
That I try and, whenever I'm going through things, I just take a walk through the trees and I listen to that list of songs. And it doesn't matter, I do shuffle, whichever way they come up. And they're either reminding me of my past good times at Old Gospel Church.
Yeah.
Or they're reminding me of where God was and where Christ was at times when I was most depressed.
Yeah.
And then the third level is that it reminds me of how I need to see others when I get all wound up and heightened up in my own self, my own self-concern, and I stop seeing other people.
Yeah.
So I got that little list, and I cry on it every time. But it's a good meditation point for me.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's like the balm for my soul.
Exactly.
It's the medicine.
Yeah.
What are the songs? What are the songs?
It's I forget it. It's the Lord's Prayer by Andre Bocelli, and a lot of it depends on who's singing it. Whether You Say by Lauren Daigle, which tends to help me see, when I start feeling like I'm not good enough or whatever, I listen to Lauren Daigle say, "This is what God has told you you are.
Yeah.
Buff up, you can handle it." Change My Name by Jennifer Bynum, which is kind of like she sings an old spiritual song, but she sings it opera-like, and it just kind of it's so deep the way she sings that it will lift you up. And we're gonna Susan's got the list, and then it's Mahalia Jackson singing "Trouble in This World."
Yeah. Yeah.
My goodness.
It just kind of makes me think about going back to my grandmother's church. And it was the kind of old church in the South that still baptized in the Mississippi River.
Wow.
Back when I was a little girl. And they would walk, and they would sing, the trouble all over the world. And everybody had on their white gowns. And oh my gosh. And so having that memory is a beautiful thing. And then I have Joshua's Troop. I don't know if you've heard of Joshua.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Give me your eyes.
Yeah.
Just give me your eyes for just one moment and help me see, what other people are feeling and doing so that I can forget all my own caught up in the politics and the madness.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful song too. And then I have a song called Dear Me by a young lady that most people don't know. She worked with me at Bank of America, and it was her song. She wrote her music and she sang a lot. Beautiful young lady. Her name is Nikki Thompson. And the Dear Me song is, you look in the mirror, and the Dear Me is you talking to you. And it says, God has already told you. Now, dear me, buck up. You can do this. And so, obviously, a lot of my songs are, did you buck up and that focus and stuff like that. But it's everything is heart-filled. It's
Yeah.
about life. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, that's really good.
I never thought of it that way, but it's my medicine.
It's really,
That's
thanks
really
for
good.
sharing.
Yeah, there's those moments where sometimes it's really good to kind of like sing along with really big, upbeat, kind of cheerful songs to like, this is the day, But I love kind of singing along to some really sad kind of tunes, like good old blues music or like really old kind of stuff. Because it reminds me too, like, man, if I feel like garbage, well, I know someone else has felt like garbage before. And our trouble may be different, but we still have the same kind of pain and burden that we carry, regardless of the different levels. We're there to help for each other. And so I have a lot of playlists that it's like, if I need a good cry, am I a happy cry? Am I a sad cry? Am I an angry cry? Those are really good. There's a version, back to Pete Seeger, he has a record, it's a sing-along record, it's a concert from the 80s. It's on, I think, YouTube and Spotify and all the places. But he does one of the most powerful versions of Amazing Grace that I think I've ever heard. And it's very simple, it's very just a banjo and a guy, but for some reason, it's the crowd, they're all singing and they hold these big, long notes. It's like, hold A for 25 seconds, but it's in full harmony, and Pete's kind of jumping off of that, and they're doing this long kind of form of, I think it's 6.5 minutes long of this old hymn. But to me, it's what heaven sounds like. It's like, we are all here together, it is our kingdom, and we're doing this. And that's a really good kind of song for me that really builds up that resilience when I need it. Even in especially with ministry life, where I feel like it is kind of like you bang your forehead against the wall a lot. This is a good song to bang your head in tempo to a lot with, but it kind of really gives me that, my own courage and resilience in where I'm at in my life. So I think it's really cool right now that we have the opportunity to kind of shift from singing together to kind of be together. So then how can we do that? How can we put our boots in the ground to be that for each other and for our community? And so I think after this last song, it'd be really cool if we could transition into the postcard writing workshop. That is we are being here together in a community like we are back there, and we are enacting change. There's good change that we can have within our hearts, within our souls, but now we can actually do it with our bodies, and that's in our voices. I think that's really cool. So this last song that I'd love to sing together is Down by the Riverside. Also a really great song I grew up in church singing. So yeah, let's do that together. And if we don't know it, it's very easy. We'll catch along. It's going to be fun. So it goes, I'm going to lay down my troubles. We'll start with that. I'm going to lay down my troubles down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm going to lay down my troubles down by the riverside, and I ain't gonna study, oh no, I ain't gonna study, I ain't gonna study, oh no, 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 ain't gonna study, oh no, ain't gonna study, oh no, gonna lay down my sword and shield, gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside. I ain't gonna study, oh no, ain't gonna study, oh no, I ain't gonna study, oh no, ain't gonna study, oh no, I ain't gonna study, oh no, ain't gonna study, oh no, ain't gonna study, oh no. Put on that clean new robe. I'm gonna put on that clean new robe down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna put on that clean new robe down by the riverside, and I ain't gonna study, oh no, I ain't gonna study, ain't gonna study, oh no, I ain't gonna study, oh no, ain't gonna study, oh no, I ain't gonna study, oh no, ain't gonna study, oh no, ain't gonna study, oh no, ain't gonna study, ain't gonna study, oh no more, ain't gonna study, oh no more, ain't gonna study, oh no more, I ain't gonna study, oh no more, ain't gonna study, oh no more, ain't gonna study, oh no. Very lovely, very lovely. Well, thank you all so much for taking this little bit of time to talk about music together. I love doing this and talking about stuff like this. So this is my last Sunday here at Banke. My internship ends at 12:30 today. So I keep saying they didn't pay me, so I gotta go. That's just the way to go. But I would love to join y'all in the postcard writing stuff together and and let's keep going. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank you,
thanks y'all so
Chris.
much.
Thank you. It's a great way to start the morning.
Thank you. Yeah, likewise.
So why is NASA on there?
My dad works for NASA, and so I put fun NASA because it helps my family.